We're looking back at some past adventures.
2015, we went to Thailand, and these are some pictures from the elephant sanctuary we went to.
Sorry, we only have a couple videos. We didn't know we were gonna make a YouTube channel at the time.
So long ago.
So long ago. If you stick around to the end of the video, we'll be talking a little bit more about our feelings about ethical tourism,
Etc.
But for right now, let's get right to the elephants.
It's me.
It's you. Remember, this was the balcony outside of our hotel room in Chiang Mai.
Yeah, and I'm eating some kind of donut-y thing from the store for breakfast. It was early.
It was early in the morning. Everyone these days kept apologizing for the weather and being like, it's so cold, I'm so sorry, like, oh, so bad. But we just come from Seoul where it was like blizzarding, and we were like, this is lovely, Thailand. You just look very cute and touristy. Here we are waiting. We're waiting for the bus here.
Yeah, to come get us, to take us to the jungle.
This picture is taken on the truck. It was essentially a pickup truck with some benches screwed into the back on each side and a canopy over it, but no windows. The back was fully open. You could fall out if you weren't careful. There was no seat belts. It was all metal and hard.
It was rickety. We felt every bump and every bone in our body. It was rough and it was long, right?
It's hard to remember now because it was 5 years ago, but it's between 40 minutes to an hour and a half for sure.
Yeah, and we were with maybe 5 people on here. I feel like we got their whole life stories. Like, this truck ride was so long. And you start with like, hey, what's up? And by the end I was like, oh, I hope your kids do well in school this year, you know? It was painful, to be honest.
It hurt.
Like, yeah.
I have spinal problems and I felt every part of this.
And I think in the beginning of the trip, and this was like closer to the city too, it was like, oh yeah, this is fine. And then like as we go deeper into the jungle, the roads are of course less maintained.
Dirt, gravel, mountain roads, the whole truck tilting wildly.
Yeah.
It was an adventure.
So
just
beautiful.
Where this location was like out in the mountain villages. I'd never seen anything that looked like this before. You know, like I don't...
No, not in person.
Not in person, only in nature documentaries.
Yeah.
We did have to hike
a little bit.
Probably about half a mile through the jungle.
Yeah, I would say that's about
there.
right. We went downhill on the way in, and so obviously uphill on the way out.
Oh, I forgot about that. Uphill on the way back. Yeah, here's us hiking down.
And you know when you go downhill, you're like, oh, it's not that steep. Like every time when you go back up, it's like, this is steeper than I remember.
I think those are water buffalo. From this overpass, that was the center as it looked then. That balcony there is where we ate lunch.
Yes.
There's a river. There's more river. So we had to cross this bridge.
I remembered this one. I was waiting for it.
This is the bridge we crossed to get there.
The first elephant.
Look at the little elephant. He's so small. It took a misstep and it stepped on a stump and kind of stumbled, and then it turned around and saw me and like yelled at me, and like it thought that I did it somehow to it. And the, I don't know, handler, mahout, whatever, with him was like, she didn't do it. But the elephant, the baby wouldn't come near me for the rest of the day. He was like, you made me trip on a stump. And that's me. The elephant saying, you got bananas, my dude?
Oh, right. They gave us all bananas to feed the elephants. They like bananas and, you know,
Same
to sort of entice them to hang out. And they were into those bananas.
Big time.
And they warned us ahead of time, like, don't give away all your bananas right away. We don't have more for you.
We're going to hike over there and see more elephants, and they're going to want bananas too. Don't get tricked. So cute.
So cute.
They're so beautiful.
Yeah.
So here's Ellen giving a little banana.
Yeah. Oh man, they're so cute and so friendly and sweet and want those bananas.
You know how when a dog like looks at you and it's like, give me a treat? I want some of what you have. Elephants have that energy, that like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey girl.
I know that's for me.
You want to give me that banana? They very much see you and like get you.
Yeah.
Here's me.
And you probably see their bells they have on, kind of like cowbells.
Cowbells.
That's the only thing supposedly that they do to kind of like keep track of them.
And they told us that all the elephants they had at that point were all rescued from other less
more
salubrious,
abusive,
environments, abusive environments. Some of them did have visible signs of like healed abuse, like scars behind their ears and that kind of stuff. We didn't see any of that kind of thing happening.
The way the handlers talked to them was kind of like how people talk to their huskies.
It was exactly how we talk to our cat. Of course, we can't know what happened behind closed doors, but the care we saw seemed genuine. That's the information I have about that.
Exactly. They're so cool.
So cool. So cute.
Yeah. They're so much cooler than I thought.
Yeah, you bonded pretty quickly with them. You definitely had like the elephant vibe right away. Early on especially, we're both kind of at a distance from the elephants. We tried very hard to respect their space.
They're also really, really social animals, so they warmed up to us.
See, she's like, I know you have more bananas, Victoria. So greedy.
She's just going in a row.
Going, it's like, give me bananas. It's probably this elephant who tricked me.
Yeah.
So at one point I was petting their snout because they're cool with that once they get used to you and just kind of talking and hanging out. The elephant wraps her whole trunk around my body in a hug, and I was like, this is the most magical moment of my life. And then she stole the rest of the bananas from behind my back, snatched them right out of my hand. And I was like, ooh, you tricked me. I think we are possibly laughing about this incident now.
Oh, maybe so.
This sweet, sweet jerk.
In the middle, anyone in the middle, okay?
She knows what she's
Circle
about.
back.
Okay, anybody
She knows what she's about.
Yep.
Just
those bananas.
It's me. You can see a little bit of Ellen in the corner. We were hiking through the forest, meeting more of the elephants hanging out in the forest, which, by the way, we saw that there are enclosures and pens now. We didn't see those when we were there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a new thing or if that's just where they slept the other time, but they were just like out in the forest hanging when we went. Which
yeah, and they had talked about when we were there, the bells, that sometimes at night you could just hear the bells in the forest as they're like walking around.
I don't know if that's changed. Obviously, I'm not in Thailand. Just
so cool. Just such a great experience.
They look so happy. They were very expressive. They had very clear body language, I recall.
Yeah, they did. Again, they're just such social animals. Oh.
Yeah, and this picture was taken by the photographer they had at the site. And they still do this apparently, where they take photos for you, so you don't necessarily have to bring your camera and you can kind of stay in the moment. They provide them for free online, which is a great service. I hope they keep doing it. I believe this elephant is pregnant, and we are touching a baby elephant through the belly, which is
so cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
And you can see too, there's a lot of sugar cane on the ground. They were also chewing on sugar cane in between bananas and just having a good old elephant time.
Yeah. A few months after we did this, we looked online, and eventually she had her baby, and we got to see pictures of the baby, which is cool.
Yeah.
It took a while because elephants are pregnant for a long time.
Yeah, we got to see the baby being cute. It was very fun.
Yeah, and with the mother too, because a lot of other places will like separate them, which is a real bummer.
Yeah.
But this baby got to stay with her.
And that
is great.
Was one of their mission statements too, is to keep elephant families together. Because
Yeah.
elephants want to be together.
So
Oh, my
good.
old teeth!
Yeah, pre-braces.
Pre-braces. Oh, so cute. So covered
cute.
in mud.
Yes.
I can also see Ellen pouting behind this baby elephant. Ooh. Once again, Ellen has a tendency to pop into photos I'm taking, and she didn't quite wiggle in today.
Great picture.
Good times. So here I've probably spent some time with this elephant. I feel more comfortable being close to her. Just an elephant. You're so happy.
I like elephants.
We're both also very sleepy in these pictures.
It's so true.
We woke up so early and hiked, and then we hiked up to the elephants, and we're like, hi, elephants. Oh, those ears.
They're so good.
Good ears. Oh, sweet baboos. They liked having their trunks pet. When they liked a person, they seem to enjoy that kind of contact.
Yeah, and that was the pregnant elephant again.
You can see the
bump
side,
more.
the big bump. Just eating,
Cute.
putting something in that mouth.
Eaten.
How much sugar cane can I pick up in one bite?
They must have to eat a lot. They're such big animals.
So cute.
So cute. Mm-hmm.
Just chomping away.
Mm-hmm. That's a funny picture.
Yeah, they're both doing it.
Yeah.
They both have their mouths hanging open. Oh, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am petting her. This is my friend.
And her baby bump.
And her baby bump, elephant friend. Oh, look at that long snoot.
So long.
The longest snoot. Her eyes are kind of closed and she's like, yeah. At this point when I would be petting her and I stopped, she would do that. Why have you stopped petting her?
We were having a moment.
I have made it clear I like this.
Mm-hmm.
Look how she looks so chill and
Yeah.
I'm so happy. I'm like, look at this elephant I bonded with. This is one of the best moments of my like travel experiences. Is this elephant who just decided we were bros.
I love it.
So cute. Those ears. This is a German lady who we met on the truck, and she had a boyfriend or a fiance she was a teacher, and he drove cars for a German company, and I spilled hot coffee all over him. I was so embarrassed, and I'm still sorry about it to this day. German guy, if you ever come across this video, I still think about it, and I'm so sorry that I spilled hot coffee all over you in the Thai jungle. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Do a
so
complain. Look at baby. Oh, sweet
Poking out.
baby. Ellen touching the baby. The babies were really like babyish. They were really emotional and moody and like would complain about stuff a lot, which was really funny. It was like any baby animal.
Yeah.
Look, I'm 6'2". That's a baby. That's a big baby.
Yeah.
That back is higher than I am.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
that back hump. So this
The baby is stealing food from its mother's mouth.
Yep.
Just right in there. Such a baby.
What a brat. Just a little thief.
And everyone's just like enamored with this baby.
It makes her look at those toes.
Her toes are so cool.
Let's go back.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you next to a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, touch his little ear. Give him a scratch him. Oh, she's patting his face. So cute.
Mm-hmm.
All them little skin wrinkles.
They're really wrinkly. It's
They're
really
so
funny.
wrinkly. I don't know if I think of elephants as being that wrinkly, but they're wrinkly.
Mm-hmm.
Just cute. This is the happiest picture of you. So we're eating
There's a
lunch, and there was a stray dog that kept begging for food. So here is all of us standing around waiting for the mud pit time. The mud bath part was kind of the only part that to me that felt really like touristy and staged.
It did feel staged.
Like
yeah.
they kind of got all the elephants together and kind of made them walk in a line to the mud pit and lay down in the mud. The elephants didn't seem upset by it, but it did feel very like, let's all go to the mud pit.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like the whole thing felt weird, like kind of awkward. And then they were like, throw mud on the elephant.
It felt awkward. Yeah, it didn't feel like
We'll get some really
harmful.
No,
it just
it did
was
not.
Awkward.
It did not feel bad. It just felt like
A little
this is
cringe.
It's a little cringe. Like this is what you want photos of, right? And it was like I could have done without that part. But you can see
Yeah.
Ella and I are throwing mud on a baby elephant as requested.
Mm-hmm.
This mud destroyed this bathing suit. My bathing suit was
yeah.
ruined forever.
I was also wondering, I know people had said it was colder those few days. I wonder if that's why they weren't as into it too. They were like, well, we did it when we're hot. I'm okay.
not hot. That's
I'm
a good
not cold,
point.
but I'm not hot. Yeah.
Good point.
I don't know. I'm just speculating.
And once again, they seemed fine with it.
Right. Yeah.
They did not take photos of the two of us very specifically in this part because we stayed kind of far from the camera people.
Yeah.
Because we're shy and this was awkward. And there they are all muddy.
So cute.
And then we went off to the river, I think.
We did, but I'm not sure we have pictures of it.
Right, because we were in the river.
Yeah, and we washed off the elephants.
They seemed to like the river way more.
It was cool. It was a little bit rough, I guess.
There was like a waterfall and a lot of stones.
Yeah.
I fell in the river and I scraped myself up pretty badly, which may be why I got sick.
Unconfirmed.
But I could have gotten sick from food poisoning or from
Just
the
being
mud
sick.
or from being in the river. We don't know.
Yeah.
I turned out fine,
yeah.
but I was very sick for I'd say I got really feverish 24 hours later after this.
And you were sick for a couple of days. Yeah.
We'll talk about that in the New Year's vid. So then for New Year's, I was pretty sick. This tin-covered place is actually where we got changed. It was like a changing hut.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
There wasn't quite enough space and everything was muddy and wet, so all the clean clothes we were changing into, it was like a very weird dance trying to
not get them muddy. Yeah.
And then we hiked back. The hike back, as we said, was arduous.
And it was arduous to climb back, but not terribly so.
Yeah. I'm not talking arduous for like 20-year-olds. I'm talking like arduous for people with chronic pain. It was fine.
It was just after like kind of a long day.
Yep.
God, it's so beautiful though. Look at the sky. Look at the green.
So cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
A great memory. So the elephant in the room.
Sure.
I was not gonna say it. Was I gonna avoid this joke? Okay. Is that choosing the right elephant sanctuary and the right way to engage in ethical tourism can be difficult. There's a lot of conflicting reviews out there, and there's a lot of abuse in animal tourism worldwide, which hopefully we all know.
Yeah, so you really want to do your research. We looked at many places online before this. The one that is sort of the most well-respected was full for the entire time we were in Thailand. So we did even more research to find places that had really positive reviews, that talked about the good things they do and the negative things that they don't do, all this sort of thing.
Very few parks in Thailand are actually registered as ethical sanctuaries until 2020. It's about 7. Elephant Jungle Sanctuary, where we went, is one of those 7. It was founded in 2014. It's a joint initiative between members of the Karen Hill tribes and Chiang Mai locals concerned about elephant welfare. When we went, it had only been open for about a year, because we went in 2015. So a lot might have changed since then. This footage, these photos, our experiences, they are 5 years old.
Right.
They also seem to have totally shut down any interaction with elephants during COVID. Bravo. And they're currently taking donations, I saw online.
That makes sense.
We genuinely felt that the workers and the vets we saw had the elephants' care in mind. We've been fortunate to go through a huge shift in the last 10 years or so in animal tourism, and this is largely due to social media and then the media focusing on the ills of animal abuse. People now care about the ethical treatment of elephants in ways that you didn't even know these things were happening 10 years ago.
Everyone, I think, is more aware. So riding elephants is really bad for them.
As well as any kind of tricks or using hooks, like those things should be really big red flags. Thailand is now filled with sanctuaries to take advantage of this cultural shift, and a lot of them still aren't ethical or doing totally ethical practices.
Right, they're taking advantage of what tourists want without actually really living up to that standard. I mean, you can never really know what happens behind the scenes, but there are things to look for, right?
Absolutely. We totally accept that elephants, while culturally and socially important in Southeast Asia, still represent a substantial source of income for many people. Any sanctuary is also a business.
Which just creates an interesting dynamic, right? It's not even necessarily saying it's bad, but it's all the more reason to look out for ethical treatment.
The takeaway for us is that, of course, in an ideal world, the elephants would just be free in the forest. We live in a real world where there are poachers where there are people capturing elephants, including released elephants, to put them into these training practices and these other bad
More
activities.
abusive environments, yeah.
And the destruction of natural habitats and roaming habitats for Asian elephants. Until we can fix these broad societal problems, I personally would rather these elephants were taken care of in sanctuaries rather than releasing them to be put into danger.
I like that we're going in the right direction. And I do think that the more people want to go to ethical places, the more it's going to force other less ethical places to change their practices.
And we've seen that. I mean, we've seen that the culture has shifted, and we can only hope that it keeps shifting.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.